Right now, while you are sitting and listening to me, your bones are quietly trading pieces of themselves away. You cannot feel it. There is no ache, no warning, no sound, but somewhere deep inside your hip, your spine, and your wrist, tiny crews of cells are tearing down old bone faster than your body is building it back. And after the age of 60, for most people, that quiet trade tips in the wrong direction. The frightening part is that you can lose a third of your bone strength and never know it, until the day you reach for a cabinet or step off a curb and something simply gives way. But here is the good news I want you to hold on to. What you put on your breakfast plate tomorrow morning can help slow that loss, and in some cases even help build it back. In one of the largest studies of its kind, published in the journal Osteoporosis International, older women who ate a simple everyday fruit each day actually held onto bone that the comparison group was losing. A food from the grocery store. That is the kind of power we are talking about today. I am Dr. Grace Carter. For more than 17 years, I have worked in clinical nutrition and internal medicine, sitting across from people over 60 who told me they were terrified of falling, terrified of breaking a hip, terrified of losing the freedom to live in their own home. And what I learned in those years is that the kitchen is one of the most powerful pharmacies we have. So today, I am going to walk you through 6 foods you can eat every single morning to help build stronger bones. Simple foods. Foods you already know. Stay with me, because the 6th one surprises almost everyone. Before we go any further, if honest, plain-spoken health information is something you find helpful, please take one moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps me reach more people who are worried about their bones and do not know where to begin. It costs you nothing, and it means the world to me. Now let me tell you why your morning plate matters so much. Let me tell you about a patient of mine. I will call her Eleanor. She was 71 when she first came to see me, and she had just been told she had osteoporosis after a routine bone scan. She was devastated. She had always thought of herself as healthy. She walked, she gardened, she did not smoke. But her mother had broken a hip at 80 and never truly recovered, and Eleanor was convinced she was watching her own future unfold. She asked me, almost in a whisper, whether it was simply too late. And I told her the truth. It is never too late to feed your bones. We did not start with medication that day. We started with breakfast. We rebuilt her morning plate, one food at a time, around the very foods I'm about to share with you. A year later, her next scan showed that her bone loss had not just slowed, it had begun to steady. She hugged me in that office, and that is exactly the kind of hope I want to hand to you today. So before we get to the foods, let me explain in plain language what your bones actually need, because once you understand it, every food on this list will make perfect sense. Most people picture bone as something dead and solid, like a dry stick or a piece of stone. That is not true at all. Your bones are living, breathing tissue, busy every single day. Imagine a road crew that works inside your skeleton around the clock. One team breaks down and clears away old, worn bone. Another team comes right behind them and lays down fresh, new bone in its place. When you are young, the building crew works faster, so your bones grow strong and dense. But as the years pass, especially after 60, the demolition crew starts to outpace the builders. And when that happens, your bones slowly grow thinner, lighter, and more fragile on the inside, even while they look perfectly normal from the outside. Why does this tip in the wrong direction as we age? A big part of it, especially for women, is the change in hormones after menopause. The hormone estrogen used to act like a gentle supervisor, holding back that demolition crew and keeping it from working too fast. When estrogen falls away after menopause, that supervisor steps off the job and the demolition crew speeds up. Men lose bone too, just more slowly, as their own hormones decline over the years. On top of that, as we get older, our bodies become less efficient at pulling minerals out of our food, and many of us simply eat less than we used to. So the supplies coming in shrink at exactly the moment the building crew needs them most. This is not a personal failure, it is biology. But biology can be fed, and that is what we are going to do. Now that building crew cannot work without supplies, and there are 4 supplies that matter most. The first is calcium. Calcium is the brick. It is the hard mineral that gives your bones their strength and structure. And the truth is that almost all of the calcium in your entire body lives inside your bones. The second is vitamin D. Think of vitamin D as the delivery truck. You can eat all the calcium in the world, but without enough vitamin D, your body cannot actually carry that calcium from your gut into your blood and onto your bones. It simply passes through you, wasted. And vitamin D is a special worry for those of us over 60, because our skin makes less of it from sunlight than it used to, and many older adults spend more of their day indoors. The third is vitamin K. If calcium is the brick, vitamin K is the bricklayer, helping guide that calcium into your bones where it belongs, instead of letting it drift into places it should not be, like the walls of your arteries. And the fourth is magnesium. Magnesium is the foreman of the whole job site. It quietly keeps the other workers organized and on task. In fact, your body even needs magnesium to switch vitamin D into the active form it can actually use, so without the foreman, the delivery truck never even leaves the lot. Your bones simply cannot hold their structure properly without it. Calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K, and magnesium. Those four work as a team. And the foods I am about to give you are powerful precisely because they bring these workers together, on the same plate, at the start of your day. Research summarized in the journal Maturitas points to all four of these nutrients playing a role in keeping your skeleton strong as you age. So let us build your breakfast. The first food is yogurt, plain, unsweetened yogurt, and especially the thicker Greek style. Now, you have heard your whole life that dairy is good for your bones, and for once the old advice is exactly right. A single serving of yogurt delivers a generous dose of calcium, the very brick your bones are made of. But there is something even better about yogurt. It is gentle on an older stomach, and because it is cultured, it carries friendly bacteria that help your gut absorb minerals more easily. Many of my patients who cannot tolerate a glass of milk anymore do beautifully with yogurt. Spoon it into a bowl in the morning. Keep it plain, so you are not loading up on sugar, and add your own fruit for sweetness. That brings me nicely to the next food. The second food is leafy greens. I am talking about spinach, kale, collard greens, and bok choy. These humble green leaves are one of the richest plant sources of both calcium and vitamin K, two of our four bone-building workers, in one bite. Remember, vitamin K is the bricklayer that guides calcium into the bone. So when you eat your greens, you are sending the brick and the bricklayer to the job site together, which is exactly what your skeleton wants. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, greens for breakfast, but it is easier than it sounds. A handful of spinach disappears completely when you stir it into scrambled eggs or blend it into a morning smoothie with your yogurt. You will not even taste it, and your bones will thank you. One small tip from years of working with patients: the kale, collards, and bok choy give up their calcium a little more easily than spinach does, so do not lean on spinach alone. Mix your greens and rotate them, and you will get the best of all of them. The third food is eggs, and more specifically, the yolk. For years, people were told to fear the yolk and eat only the whites. But the yolk is where the treasure is, because it is one of the few foods that naturally contains vitamin D, our delivery truck. Without enough vitamin D, the calcium from your yogurt and your greens cannot reach your bones. The yolk also brings a little protein, which forms the soft framework that calcium hardens onto, much like the steel inside a concrete wall. A couple of eggs in the morning with the yolk is a simple and powerful start. And if you fold those greens right into them, you have just combined three of our bone foods on a single plate. The fourth food is canned fish with the bones still in it. I mean sardines, and canned salmon where you can see those soft little bones running through it. Now, I know that for some of you, the idea of eating the bones sounds strange, even unpleasant. But please stay with me, because this is one of the most powerful bone foods on earth. When you eat those soft, edible fish bones, you are quite literally eating calcium in its most natural form, exactly the way nature packaged it. On top of that, this oily fish gives you vitamin D and healthy fats. It is calcium and the delivery truck together in one tin. Mash a few sardines onto a piece of whole grain toast in the morning. It is an old-fashioned breakfast, and it is wonderful for your skeleton. The fifth food is nuts and seeds. A small handful of almonds, a sprinkle of chia seeds, a spoonful of ground flaxseed, or some pumpkin seeds scattered over your yogurt. These little foods are quietly rich in magnesium, the foreman of our bone crew, the one that keeps everything organized. Magnesium is one of the most overlooked nutrients for bone health, and many older adults simply do not get enough of it. Nuts and seeds also bring a bit of plant protein and healthy fat to keep you full through the morning. The beauty here is how easily they layer onto everything else. Sprinkle them over your yogurt and greens, and you have rounded out the whole team. And now the sixth food, the one I promised would surprise you. Prunes. Yes, ordinary dried plums. I know they have a reputation as something only for an upset stomach, but please do not laugh them off, because the science here is genuinely exciting. In a 12-month study from Penn State University, published in Osteoporosis International, more than 200 postmenopausal women were followed closely. The women who ate prunes each day held on to bone density and bone strength, while the group that did not eat them continued to lose it. Researchers believe the natural plant compounds in prunes, called polyphenols, may calm the inflammation that drives that demolition crew to tear bone down too quickly. So a small handful of prunes in the morning, around 5 or 6 of them, may quite literally help you keep the bone you already have. And here is a detail I love about that study. The women in it did not eat some special medicine or rare supplement. They ate prunes you can buy at any corner store for a few dollars a bag. That is the kind of medicine I can get behind. Eleanor, the patient I told you about earlier, started keeping a small dish of them right on her kitchen counter, and it became one of her favorite parts of the morning. After yogurt, after greens, after eggs and fish and seeds, the prunes are the quiet finishing touch. So there are your 6: yogurt, leafy greens, egg yolks, canned fish with bones, nuts and seeds, and prunes. 6 everyday foods, working as a team, bringing your bones their 4 key supplies every single morning. Now let me share a few common mistakes I see so you can avoid them. The first mistake is loading up on calcium alone and forgetting the rest of the team. Calcium with no vitamin D is like bricks with no delivery truck. They never reach the wall. So do not just chase one nutrient. Eat the variety. The second mistake is drowning these good foods in sugar. Sweetened, fruit-flavored yogurts can carry as much sugar as a dessert, and too much sugar works against you. Buy it plain and sweeten it yourself with fruit or those prunes. The third mistake is thinking that one good breakfast undoes a week of neglect. Your bones respond to what you do steadily, morning after morning, not to a single perfect plate. Consistency is what rebuilds you. How often should you do this? Every morning if you can. You do not need all 6 foods on the same plate every single day. Rotate them. Yogurt with seeds and prunes one morning. Eggs with greens the next. Sardines on toast another day. What matters is that across your week, all 6 show up regularly, so your bones get a steady supply of every worker on that crew. Now, I promised you honesty, so here is the important safety part, and I need you to listen closely. These are foods, and for most people, they are wonderfully safe. But there are a few situations where you must talk to your own doctor first. If you have ever had kidney stones, or you have kidney disease, you need personal guidance on how much calcium is right for you, because more is not always better. The same is true if you are considering calcium supplements in pill form. Please do not start high-dose calcium pills on your own. Bring it to your doctor, because the right amount for your body is something only they can help you judge. And if you take a blood thinner, the vitamin K in leafy greens can affect how that medication works, so you must coordinate any big change in your greens with the doctor who manages that prescription. Please never stop or change a medication on your own. Always bring these ideas to your own healthcare provider and let them guide you safely. Food is powerful, and that is exactly why it deserves that respect. Here is the one trick that will turn all of this from a nice idea into a lasting habit. Attach it to something you already do every single morning. You already make breakfast. You already pour your coffee or your tea. So let that familiar moment become your signal. The yogurt comes out when the coffee goes on. The prunes sit right next to the toaster where you cannot forget them. You are not adding a new chore to your day. You are simply building bone strength into a routine that already exists. That is how habits truly last. And here is a small bonus that stacks right on top of your breakfast. After you eat, get up and move, even just a little. Take a short, gentle walk or do a few minutes on your feet around the kitchen. Bone is living tissue, and it grows stronger when you gently ask it to carry your weight. So the food gives your bones the supplies, and a little movement tells the building crew to get to work using them. Food and movement together are far more powerful than either one alone, and neither one costs you a thing. Let me bring this all together for you. After 60, your bones are quietly losing strength, a little at a time, with no warning until something breaks. But you have real power over this, sitting right in your own kitchen. Your bones need 4 things: calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K, and magnesium, and these 6 morning foods deliver them as a team. plain yogurt for calcium, leafy greens for calcium and vitamin K, egg yolks for vitamin D, canned fish with the bones for calcium and vitamin D together, nuts and seeds for magnesium, and prunes, the surprising one, to help you hold on to the bone you already have. It costs you almost nothing. It asks very little of you. And it may help protect the things you treasure most as you age, your hip, your spine, your balance, and your freedom to keep living life on your own terms. If this was helpful to you, and you would like more simple, honest guidance like this, please subscribe and stay with us here. This channel exists to help you stay strong, steady, and independent well past 60, and I would be honored to walk that road with you. Take good care of yourself, eat well tomorrow morning, and I will see you in the next one. A quick and important note before you go. This video is for general educational purposes only, and it is not medical advice. Always speak with your own qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your diet, your supplements, or your medications, especially if you have kidney problems or take a blood thinner. Your doctor knows your body, so bring these ideas to them and let them help you use them safely.